Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Table Talk on 802 Scoop live from 185 North Main Street in Barrie, where it's snowing like freaking crazy. And I didn't even realize it was snowing that much until I started coming down the hill, and I have to use my transmission so I don't have to stand on my brakes and slide into people. What the hell?
Oh,
It's
that
kind of
wouldn't have been nice if you ran into the guy in front
right
of you.
into the back of you.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been nice. Pushed you right down the hill. Yeah. I mean, it's not nice out there at all.
It's not. You know,
And we've already seen people this morning complaining that they don't know why school wasn't canceled.
Yeah.
It's bad, all of that good stuff. But, you know, really, if you don't want your kids to go to school, then
Keep
I
them
think
home.
it's right. I think it should be parents' discretion.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that aren't used to it, and so they get a little freaked out by this. I'm not freaked out by it at all.
And
I
then
actually
there's
rather be driving this than driving the rain. I
Yeah.
hate driving in the rain.
then there's those people that will say, "I can't believe they called school off. It's only like 5 inches." You know.
Right. Well, that's what I would be feeling like. They didn't do that when I was a kid.
Hell no.
I mean, different because we walked to school.
We did too.
We didn't.
2 miles each way up and uphill.
Well, that was kind of true where I was because I lived up on
Berlin
Street. So
Yeah.
we'd have to walk up to the top to Prospect, and then we get to go all the way down, Prospect.
Yeah.
But on the way home, we had to come all the way back up one of them, either or. So, yeah. Sarah Rollins says she just called to have her kid come home early with Spalding not having busing and kids being new drivers. I'd rather her be home safe. That
That's
is
good.
normal.
Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's an absolute normal, and that's just the way it should be. If the parents feel that that's what's best, then that's what should happen.
Yeah.
Don't be upset that they didn't cancel school. Just choose to keep your kid at home.
We never had snow days.
I know.
Never.
Well, and somebody said if well, what was it? Was it? I don't know. What was it? Like 8:00 last night when we saw the first post,
Yeah. Yeah, about 8 o'clock.
from the news that
Yeah.
said, schools were already closing
Yeah.
last night. So they made the decision, just not a lot here in Washington County, mostly in Orange County. Yeah. Lots going on this week. A lot of stuff, Christmas for Kids oriented, but also at Preston's Kia on Saturday. I have to be there bright and early because Santa's going to be there. So you can go visit Santa. They do games and giveaways and hot chocolate and cookies and donuts and all that good stuff. And Baby Beluga is there, and she does the photos, so you can get your picture taken with Santa and all of that good stuff on Saturday from 8 to noon.
And you will be there?
I will be there, of course. Which, I don't know. Sometimes this morning stuff is just starting to get to me. I feel like every Saturday I have to be up and out the door and somewhere. 9 to noon, sorry. It's 9 to noon for Preston's. It's 8 to noon at Tasty Bites. Santa will be there.
Yeah.
But
Is it hard for you to get up and get going?
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't like to move. Smart ass. It is. I just rather just hang out.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, especially on a day like this,
It was crappy this morning. But anyways, you can do that from 9 to noon at Preston's. And then they have the coin drop here in the city.
Oh, that's right.
For
Yeah.
Christmas for kids. And that is always, it's lined up right there in front of Domino's, that's a really good, safe
It is.
stretch to do it, I think.
It's a wide section of the road, and there's plenty of space
Yeah.
to go around. If you don't want to make a donation, you can go around the car in front of you.
Right.
Just
And
use common sense.
Or you can just use
You could
Summer
take Summer
Street.
Street.
You could use Summer Street.
Yeah.
You could use the back parking lot. Like
Yeah.
you can really get around that if you don't want
Right.
to, and get around it easily.
Yeah.
And we know it's not. Some people aren't huge fans of the whole coin drop thing.
Right.
They say that's the same as panhandling. I tend to disagree, but it's nobody's. You stop if you want to stop.
Right.
Nobody's.
They're
gonna
not
get
begging.
Out. Right. They're not pushing in
Right.
your face and whatever, knocking on your window or anything like that. They're standing there holding the bucket. If you want to stop, you stop. If you don't, you just wave or do whatever. We've been flipped off, all those things when we're standing out there before, but we handle it just fine. So that's happening, and then that also goes till noon. And you can go over to Tasty Bites.
Tasty Bites.
Yep. And warm up, have some breakfast or lunch, and the fundraiser they're having is all for Christmas for kids as well at Tasty Bites.
Yep.
And so they have the breakfast and the breakfast with Santa. Then from noon to 2, Michael's going to do balloons, his little
Oh.
balloon animals or hats or whatever the heck it is that he does. He makes little swords. He does all kinds of stuff like that. I agree, Glenn, it's not panhandling. And Judy says at the city councilors going to be standing out there for the coin drop. And usually I know that Michael Booton will be out there. He's not a counselor anymore, but he'll be out there
What
as
time
the
is
state
it?
rep. 8 to noon or 8 to 1.
I can do that.
Yeah. And then so you will do it, and I know that Tom will be there. He's always there, and Michael Deering will be there.
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in.
Yeah.
Stand out there, and I don't know. I didn't check the weather. Did you? For Saturday.
Well, we can do
Hopefully
that.
it's nice. It's not. So standing out there isn't bad, even if it's cold, as long as it's not well below zero and the
Yeah.
wind whipping. But it's worse when it's raining and wet. In the last couple of years, it has been super, super rainy, like just crappy weather. So once you're soaking wet out there, it's crazy.
Saturday, cloudy, high of 27, low of 12.
Well,
So chilly.
yeah, I mean, it's been worse, that's for sure. We have the coin drop. We have Tasty Bites. Oh, and then on Saturday there's also over at the Congregational Church, and it's actually Saturday and Sunday a Christmas carol. They're doing that.
No
over
admission,
there.
right? Free
Huh?
admission.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that is over there, and there are times for Saturday and Sunday, and we have both of those times and schedules on our page. And then we know that this past weekend was craft fair weekend, and they were everywhere. Did you go to any of them? You drove through the parking lot to check for me.
I did, just to see how busy it was.
Yeah, and it was not nice.
So it was pretty busy, huh?
Well, it was busy, but I don't think
Not like
I was
Saturday
told nothing
busy.
like Saturday.
Right.
Saturday it was like crazy. Michael went on Saturday, bless his heart, and so he went on Saturday and went live at the Odd, and I went to the Labor Hall, and that was much more. It was very busy,
Yeah.
but it was much more calm, I think, than it is because there's a lot of vendors
Yeah, there
at
is.
the
Yeah.
auditorium. Like,
And
it's
you know,
insane.
it's historically it's always the same thing. Saturday is just mobbed with people. Sundays, you know, not quite as busy, but I talked to the lady that used to run it years ago, and she said Sunday is actually the better day to come because a lot of the vendors, some of them don't want to carry all their stuff back, so they'll start dropping prices.
Right,
So
they'll mark it
you
down.
you get
Yeah.
a better price.
Well, that makes sense. Barb said that she just heard on the scanner there are 2 tractor trailers stuck on the hill on Washington Street. So came down just in time.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It was slick coming down not this morning, right before noon, so that coming on 2 wheels. But I did it very carefully today. Speaking of stuck stuff, there was a train last night stuck for
Yeah.
hours, and I never saw the outcome. Does anybody know when the road opened back up? And
So where was it? It was on Blackwell.
on Blackwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the train apparently was stuck across the road, and you couldn't move. You couldn't go through there at all. And they said the railroad expected that it would be several hours.
Several hours, yeah.
And so, yeah. Judy says she went to the craft show on Saturday and just basically walked through, and then I went back on Sunday morning to get right into what I wanted to get and get out. So when I went on Sunday, I knew exactly who I wanted to go see Val.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go see Happy Good Day, and then my cousin Abigail, who was there. I knew very specific what I was going to do, where I was going to go. I picked up my sidekick Barb, and her and I went. We hit that one. We hit. What are you laughing about?
That's a dynamic duo, you and Barb.
We don't get into trouble.
No, I didn't say you did.
We did not call for bail or
You just
anything.
you make a good pair.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We make a good pair, all right.
Somebody's got to watch out when you're driving.
What is it? First you're telling my dad's stories, and now you're telling everybody's stories.
It's just the whole cow thing, you know?
Am I ever going to live it down?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, I am going to live it down.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's what I did too. And like, I didn't go on Saturday, but I knew exactly by the brochures that Tracy did, because she did an amazing job. It told where everybody was.
Yeah.
And so I just knew exactly what I was going to do and did it. It's too much. I'm not good at that many people.
Wow, no. That's why I used to go to the gun show, and the gun show's worse than the craft show because everybody, they're lined up outside, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours before the doors open. And there's just so many guys, you can't even get to a table to look at something.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's why, too, they stand there, they look at it, and then there's paperwork to fill out. There's a lot more involved. And so it's really a standstill kind of thing, for sure. I remember going to all of those things with my parents, though. The gun show, the farm show, the
Farm show.
all that
Do you
stuff.
remember the old sportsman show that they used
I
to
do.
have?
I loved going to the sportsman show. They have kind of a similar one in Burlington at the fairgrounds to the sportsman show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the same. Barb says it was a good day. We did not get into any trouble at all. At least nothing we're going to admit to. That's why I love her.
I
That is
expected
why I love
nothing
her.
less.
It's kind of like what happens at deer camp stays at deer camp.
Whoa.
It's kind of the same thing. And Glenn, bless his heart, he must not have been listening. So Glenn wants to know what cow thing. So go ahead, honey. You tell him.
So we were on a little road trip. And I think we were on the Danville Groton Road. And we were right around Peachum, South Peachum, the intersection. And in the intersection, there's like a little triangle, grassy triangle with a big telephone pole standing in it. And there was a cow there, a loose cow, and he was eating the grass around the telephone pole right on the driver's side of the vehicle. And, for all points of clarity, I was not the driver. The driver did not even see the cow standing right there, like 3 feet from the driver's
My
door.
window.
So I just pointed out, did you see the cow? What cow?
That's what I said. No, I didn't say what. I said no.
No, no.
Till I looked left, and then it was like right in my window. Barb says, Jeff, there were no cows in sight, at least none that we saw.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I'm not going down that road.
So, Barb is legally blind. And
Oh,
she's
God.
my co-pilot.
Yeah.
So, if that doesn't scare the shit out of any of you, I
So-
don't know what will.
So, I'm not trying to be mean here, but 2 people with 4 eyes, and only one eye works. You told me you can't see well out of your left
Right.
eye.
I only have one
Right.
eye. Glenn is laughing.
Glenn will back me up, right, Glenn?
I can't. Of course he will. You guys are mean.
We're not mean. We just like
But
to pick
that's
on
what
you a
I
little
did.
bit.
And then I was, and then you had to tell my dad that I got pulled over for speeding.
Well, you did, didn't you?
That was not Thanksgiving dinner conversation.
Oh,
I have to teach you these things.
sorry.
He told on me, Glenn. He ratted me out.
Well, I thought it was a funny story, but
Well, it was. I didn't have to. They didn't keep me.
I guess when you're
I didn't get arrested or nothing. He let me go.
all right, I take it back. I didn't mean to pick on you.
He let me go. Told me to behave myself and not be speeding like that. And so I stopped. I didn't do that anymore. A lot
Until
of
he was
Christmas
out of
tree
sight.
farms. A lot of Christmas tree farms are open now. Martin Tree Farm in East Corinth. I know the big sale for the Lions Club. Their
yeah,
Christmas
that's
tree
right.
sale is this weekend, which is always. I think they usually always
They
sell
they
out.
sell out, I guess. Yeah.
But they do. Mark Tatro does with.
They're all one price, right? Is it?
Yeah, I think they're $60.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Glenn says you threw me under the bus. Yes, he did, Glenn. He threw me right under and then ran my ass over.
Don't believe her, Glenn.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and then Saturday night. We had a blast Saturday night. It was great to see everybody downtown.
Yeah.
The parade was like amazing. The lighting was amazing. The Opera House is super cool. It was just there was a lot of people.
Park looks really
It was
nice.
great. Yeah, it
looks
does.
great.
And I like all of the wreaths on the
Yeah,
gazebo,
in the gazebo.
this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, we read last night, we heard yesterday that we almost didn't have a tree because
Yes,
some
guy tried to burn the
asshat-
tree.
Yeah, he threw it on the ground first, and
Yeah.
he was trying to set it on fire. But apparently, he had set a dumpster fire prior to that.
Yep.
And he was trying to burn the damn tree down
Yep.
in the gazebo. And like, what is going on? Randolph Tatro was his name, and apparently he was having a little crisis or whatever. But damn,
And that's a shame because I think things have improved remarkably around Main Street now.
they really have.
And in the
Things-
park has no more people just hanging around. It's clean now.
Yep. It seems to be much better than it was at
Yeah.
one point in time. Where Judy says grateful for those cameras. We hope. I don't know if are they working?
I haven't heard. I'll find out at the next meeting.
Yeah, because you were out for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I was on leave.
You were on leave. Now there's a tractor trailer stuck on Maple Avenue, Route 14.
Oh, that's got to be up near Hope.
Up near, yeah, that happens a lot right there. That
Yeah.
is a slick corner.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't really feel like the grade is very much there, but it is because
It
it's
is.
slanted funny, so it's weird right through there. Not that I should know those sorts of things, but my father was an engineer and designed a lot of the roads, and so, those were the kinds of conversations
Yeah.
he had with us when we were driving. Well, this is why. Glenn says, here we go. Glenn says, why are people so stupid? I would take probably the same line as Glenn. Because
Is
if
this
you
about
just
the guy with the Christmas tree?
slow down,
Or the drivers?
concentrate, yeah. Maybe he's talking about the drivers. Maybe he's talking about the
Yeah.
idiot. It would apply to both
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. The first real storm of the season, you just got to drive a lot slower, take your time. If you got to be somewhere, leave a half hour or so earlier,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Always leave enough space between you and the car in front of you.
Let's see. Scott Jenkins says, what happened with the Central Vermont 911 group? I can't even find it anywhere. Maybe I got booted. Maybe I couldn't tell you right now, Scott, but I'll check when we're done and see what's up with that. I'll see. But it is, I know when you're in the search bar, you have to type 911 and then it comes up, but you have to be careful because there's so many different ones now. And so if you type 911 first, then find the one that says Central Vermont on it. It used to be the other way around. It was Central Vermont 911, but now they changed it for some reason. I have no idea why. So check that, but I'll check and see what happened with that. That page is just, I admin all of those like a fruitcake, all the ones all over the state. Katie Jarvis says the rain is going to ice the roads over and travel this afternoon is going to be scary. Drive safe. If you have to, stay home if you can. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because I rather if you're worried, if you're scared at all, then you should just
Right,
stay
and
home.
don't
Just
even go out.
Don't even if you can't, or get a ride with somebody. If you're already at work and you can't, then get a ride with somebody or something so that you're not.
I don't see
putting
anywhere where there's
people
going to be
at
rain.
risk.
It's not warm enough to rain.
Yeah. Glenn says, I just drove out to Chelsea to pick up my hunting blind and drove back. The roads are covered in snow. Just be careful. This is Vermont. And it's the way I feel about it too. People think it's bitchy that, we say that. People say, yes, we know we're in Vermont. But we've lived here all of our lives and we just know what to expect.
Yeah.
And this really is nothing compared to storms we used to get. Nothing, not even close. I remember, my parents' whole freaking car would be buried in the driveway. That we get that much snow, just in the day and night.
I remember as a kid, when we lived on Howard Street and, and they'd plow all winter and then they'd only remove like the big snowbanks off the side roads maybe once the whole winter. So, the snowbanks would get like 4.5 feet high. And we used to dig tunnels in the snowbanks.
Yeah, we did that too.
Yeah.
And we often caught hell about where we were digging them because the best place to dig them was along a driveway or a road or something like that because that's where it was the highest, but it definitely wasn't the safest for sure. But it was a lot less work. We weren't shoveling to make those hills. They were just provided for us.
Yeah.
But Barb said if people are getting caught on camera doing things in the city that they're not supposed to, are there going to actually be any consequences? And really, the city will write tickets. They do. They will do no trespass orders, things like that. And I saw this posted because a couple of like the scumbag that was caught masturbating at Playground 2000 the other day.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were really upset that he just got a no trespass for like 180 days. Well, because now it's in the hands of the state's attorney, and it's up to her whether or not this person is charged with a crime.
Right.
And it's the same with City Hall Park or anything like that. The city can't determine that kind of stuff. They can write a ticket, but they can't. And then after a certain number of tickets, it's possible that an actual fee is assessed, right? Where
Yeah.
there's money paid out.
Yeah.
And then I know that, and then it is. And same thing goes for the no trespass. No trespass would be the same amount of days for anybody. And that has to be they re-up it. That's just like kind of like a restraining order. They're just not, you don't write it and it's blanket for the rest of your life.
No.
That's not how that works. So, and then we'll wait and see what the court does. But it's not, I'm sure, I'm almost positive, if the police could make the decision of what was going to happen, what the consequences were, they're as fed up as the rest of us are. And I'm sure that a lot more would be happening. And that's
Yeah,
just,
I think you're right. I know a few of the police officers, and they get frustrated. They'll tell you.
yep, they do.
You're out there doing your job, and you look, and the next day that same person's out doing the same thing.
Yeah, and you're writing another ticket, or you're chasing them down for something, and we see it over and over, especially in the town of Berlin. Can you imagine? I mean, with all the stores, every day, every other day, you see
Shoplifting, trespassing. Yeah.
Yep. Barb says we need to vote in new state's attorney, hopefully someone who actually wants to do their job. And even like all of this is such, it all trickles down, because even for her to do her job, we need the people in Montpelier to do their job
Exactly.
first. And so if the laws aren't on the books, even the judge are in this box. And so, and some of the laws that have been created over the last 6-7 years are pretty insane.
Right.
The bail laws and the catch and release bullshit is,
And we don't have the same number of, correctional facilities that we used to have. And then it, for those that get shipped out of state, that costs the state more money.
Yep. And then Barb says that she hears daily on the scanner people violating the no trespass orders. So then the police resources are being wasted because they have to go back up there, kick them out again. And again and again. And then Glenn said the state's attorney needs to stop being a mamby-pamby, which I agree to an extent. Like I said, there are some cases where I wish that they were a little harder, but then there are some cases that I know she can't be. Because I know kind of the ins and outs of some of it. And unfortunately, it's the shit in Montpelier that ties the hands and says, no, this is the box that you're in. If you can't figure it out in this box, then you got to let them go. Yep. You do a crime, you go to jail, you don't collect $200. Now that I agree with wholeheartedly. I did. I spent 3 years in jail, in actual jail, 7 more years on probation. And that's the way it was then. Now, people do the same exact thing. Some woman just did the same exact thing, and I think she served 13 days. 13 days. Are you shitting me? It's super frustrating, for sure. They don't do any of that stuff anymore. Glenn said he couldn't stand to be a cop nowadays, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to be a cop. Not for nothing. They're not overly supported. I think we are a little bit better about it here in Barrie than there are in a lot of places, but they're not overly supported.
No.
And I've outright heard people say, well, you can't have the police at the event or then people will be afraid to go. Who the hell is actually, like, I don't know where you came from that you were petrified of the police. If that's the big city that you lived in and you came here and you were petrified of the police here, it's just not the same.
No.
It's not the same
No.
here. I mean, most of them, I mean, they're your freaking neighbors and everything. They, you know, you see them at the basketball games and
Yep.
baseball games and all of that stuff. It's just not, I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Growing up, you know, as a kid here, you knew every policeman that was on the force, and they knew you, you know, regardless of you were, you know, if you
And
had
they
a
knew
little
how to
incident-
reach your mother, damn it.
Yeah, they would. That was the thing. They would call your house and say, you know, Jeff was doing this on Main Street the other day. You know, Jeff was
Yeah.
being stupid on Main Street the other day. But people had respect for the police.
Yeah. And we were happy to see them.
Yeah.
And when we were walking home from school, I think was it Martin Prevost, the big tall guy?
Martin, yep.
Yep. You know, when we would see him out walking or something, or Trevor Whipple or any of them, like we were happy to see them and stop and talk to them. We were just, I don't know,
Yeah,
not the same anymore.
no.
And we don't have enough officers to even be that out in the community
Right.
like they were before.
And really,
and I'm sure they would like to be, but they can't. We just don't have it.
and it's, you know, I don't think we had a lot of police back then either, but they were visible. And I remember there used to be a little booth thing up here in the triangle, right across from Youth Triumphant. There was a little police booth, and every now and then there would be a cop in there keeping an eye on traffic in the Rotary. And every
What year
night,
was that?
probably like 1966, 67.
That's why I don't remember.
You're funny.
I know it.
You're very funny. But you know,
Hey, you were talking about cows.
we saw you'd see a police officer, you know, in the day at nighttime. Nighttime they used to walk Main Street. They
Yeah,
check the doors
yeah.
on all the businesses.
And they still do that. to
I
an
heard they are,
extent.
yeah.
I think that they try to hit everyone every night, but they come here a lot. I see them on camera all
Yep.
the time, and they check the back parking lot, they check the back doors, they check that entranceway upstairs because we had a lot of trouble out there. They do check the doors on Main Street.
Yeah.
And they leave little tags in the door that says that they've checked and your building was secure and
Yeah.
stuff. And so they do that, just not as often as what we were used to
Right.
back when, for sure.
It's not like, you know, we're not the perfect little town like, you know, like It's a Wonderful Life movie. You know, it's not.
Yep.
It's not like that anymore, kids. You know?
Right. Glenn said back then they didn't have people shitting in the park, and I totally agree with that
Yeah.
too. You know, what we see now isn't anywhere near, because what we see now, I wouldn't let a kid be downtown walking around
Yeah.
at night. But when I was a kid, as long as we were home when the streetlights came on, and in the summertime, that meant we were allowed to be downtown
Sure.
pretty late.
Yeah.
And-
For us, it wasn't when the lights came on. It was when the curfew blew at 10 of 9.
Yeah, I don't remember that
Our
either.
dad told us, when you hear that whistle blow, you got 10 minutes to get your ass back in this house.
Uh-huh.
So you better not be too far away.
And when did it go off? At 9? 10 of 9?
10 of
10 of 9.
8:50 p.m. Yep.
And that was the one, that was at Ladder 1? Is
Yep.
that what it was?
Yep.
That's the horn that also used to sound like when the fire truck was going out,
Right.
or there was an
When there
emergency
was
or
so
something.
remember there used to be the pull boxes on telephone poles all around the city.
Uh-huh.
And if you opened that and pulled it, that would trigger that whistle alarm at the fire station, and it would blow out a code. So I think the one on the corner of Howard Street and Center Street was like 411 or something like that. So the horn would blow 4, then a pause, then a 1, then a pause, and a 1. So any of the call firemen would hear that and they'd know, they'd had a card and it would tell them what intersection that's at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very, very old stuff
Yeah.
we're talking about now.
Well, but it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
And we wish was still around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Fletcher says that it's very frustrating that employees at the store can't do anything when people steal. And we've talked about that before too. When I worked, I remember back when I was in school and I worked at Ames, they had his name was Brad, and he worked there and was there as somebody who walked around all day long looking for people stealing. And if he caught you stealing, you get dragged up to his office and the police were called. And
Yeah.
they had theft protection in the store. There was a couple of women that did it as well. But yeah, that was a thing.
I remember
They
that.
don't do that anymore.
They had that at Zares too. They had their own security people. And they wore plain clothes and just kind of walked around the store like they were shopping.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then if they saw somebody, they'd nab them.
Yeah, they would
they'd
nab 'em.
wait till they went outside. Because once they went out of the building,
Mm-hmm.
then you could nail them for shoplifting.
Yeah, yeah, and that's back when they did. They did
Yeah.
stuff about it now, but now it becomes an insurance issue. Is what most stores say. Like I know some stores you have to sign a contract that says if you try to stop a shoplifter, you'll be fired. I know that's what they do at Walmart. You can be terminated for trying to stop a shoplifter because it's an insurance issue. If you were to get shot,
Yeah.
beat up, hurt, whatever, then it's on their shoulders. So they would rather that you just didn't deal with it at all.
Judy Copping just sent me a picture of the Barry fire alarm boxes card.
She did.
All right, so where was Howard Street? Let's see.
Yeah, if they get hurt, it's a workers' comp claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is true. It's just a liability, and so they would
Oh.
rather that you didn't.
I said 411, it was 522.
522 for
Yes.
your street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that at all. I remember the horn going off, but I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was for any emergencies. Like they used it for a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, for sure, it was kind of cool. So, speaking of things going on, what about the? You got a call this morning that was interesting
Yeah.
about some stuff happening in
Yeah.
the city.
A friend of mine owns a business in Barry. Got a letter in the mail from Barry City, and it was asking questions about rental units. And there was questions on there about income, expenses, how many apartments do you have, how many people in the apartments. It was all this long, drawn-out thing, and I said, geez, it doesn't sound right, because usually we don't ask for financial information or anything.
Right.
So I called the city manager's office, and I sent him a text, and he responded and said, it is legitimate, it is coming from the city, it's coming from the assessor's office, because the city is now starting the reassessment procedure. So if you get one of those and you're not sure, how to answer the questions, call City Hall and ask for the assessment office, the assessor's office.
Because it says in there,
You could be fined for not filling out the form
right, form. And
or leaving out blank spaces.
so if you don't know something and you just skip it because you don't
Don't
know it,
do that.
you can be in trouble for
Yeah.
that.
Call the
So,
assessor's office.
that seems kind of friggin' extreme.
It does.
That if you skip a box because you don't know, and it's going to cost you $100,
Yep.
but if you have a fire under the bridge on Blackwell Street and you catch the freaking bridge on fire because you've been cooking with your fucking sterno or whatever, no fine.
But you'll be placed
Even
on
during
house.
a burn ban.
You'll be placed on house arrest. So you go back to your spot under the Blackwell
Right,
Street
or
Bridge.
it's just or a ticket, or
Yeah.
they say don't do that.
Right.
But now, you know, we always talk about affordability. So, and then here we go. We're talking about affordability, and we're talking about what people can and can't. Not just people that are unsheltered are poor.
Right.
People that own homes, live in homes, are struggling.
Sure they are.
And $100 is a lot of money to a lot of people. And so it just seems extreme to me that that would be done. It seems like horse shit.
I hope the assessor's phone rings a lot because I think it's going to.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder who chose that amount. It just seems, I don't know. It just seems insane to me that, we're just talking about some asshole trying to burn down the Christmas tree in the park, and we're trying to so yeah, it just seems ridiculous. Charlotte Magoon says, hey guys, Facebook is exploding with the state of Vermont increasing the property tax 40%. Can you guys touch on that? And what is going to happen? School tax at 65% when so many people are pulling their kids from the school system. Will these parents still have to pay school taxes when they take their kids out of the school? First of all, I agree totally. I read the governor's statement yesterday. I saw the 12.2% was the projected. This is one of the reasons I was totally against building a $149 million career center. The long and the short of it is that until all of this redistricting is done, I don't think any of us are going to know.
No.
I think we're going to stay in limbo with our hearts in our throat and a pit in our stomach, wondering, are we going to be able to still keep our houses and feed our kids and all of those sorts of things. The only light that I can shed on it is that it's bullshit, and somehow they got to figure it out, because we've said numerous times that the school population is so much lower than it was when we were kids. When we were kids, our class sizes were huge compared to what they are now.
Yeah. Spalding High School in the 70s was, total of all four, freshman through senior, anywhere between, 12 to 1,400 kids. And now the total school is, I think, under 700.
For everyone.
For everyone.
9 through 12.
Yeah.
But the expenses have gone up and up and up and up and up. Yeah. I'd like to know, how much of the lottery does education get, as I'm sure it's a large chunk of change to assist, and where does it go? That's from Hillary Scott. I would like to know that too. And I think that's exactly what needs to happen, is we all need to start asking more questions and really holding them to the fire as far as
that was the whole thing
the
about
answers go.
Bringing the lottery in. That it was going to ease the school burden. All the money
And
from the
it's
lottery
gotten
is going to ease the school burden.
And the money keeps going up. And, I think consolidating schools and making it is a great idea, because then hopefully we would have less staff. And how many principals do you need in
that's another thing,
small area? And how much admin do you absolutely need in this small area, and with what's going on? And so affordability wise, and then the career center, again, they talk about, well, we had to we turned away 200 kids. First of all, I call bullshit on that, like big time.
Yeah.
I just like, no, don't blow the smoke. Just tell it like it is or go away. I find that impossible when we talk about the number of kids that are
And
in
were
the
they all
school.
turned down because of not enough space? Or was it,
No,
was it because they couldn't meet the standards to be into that
And
program?
I know for a fact that some kids, a good share of kids, were turned down because they couldn't meet the standards. It was a behavioral thing. And in my mind, those kids should be there. Those kids, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Maybe they're misbehaving because they need to be taught in a different way. And, school's just not for them, but a trade or something technical, something hands-on would make a big difference.
Yeah.
And, everybody always talks about alternative this and alternative that, but when it comes to actually doing it, nobody wants to.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people. I shouldn't say it as a blanket statement because I think a lot of people do and would be willing, but there are a lot of people that just they don't want anything to do with that, which is too bad. It's but I know that people were turned around.
Yeah.
Said nope,
Well-
behavioral. You don't fit the bill.
But that, and just building a brand new school because you want it, when you could, adapt an empty building to make it work, or take the space that's empty now in Spalding because you don't have, 1,300 students now, you only have 700. So you've got space, utilize it,
Right.
It's probably cheaper to renovate than to build new.
Absolutely. That's what I think that we should put Spalding at Berry City and then put all the elementary kids at Berrytown and put the trades at Spalding. That's what I think we should do. But we'll see what happens. Sarah Rollins says, could also combine two middle. I agree. She said unfunded mandates. I remember a meeting we had with our state legislature my first year on school board, and the legislator kept saying that the state couldn't afford certain things. Our response was the taxpayers couldn't afford them, and I mean you can't get any more real and true than that. It's the way it is. And she said you could also combine our two middle and elementary schools, and I absolutely agree with that, 100%. And then if you had to do modifications to Berry Town, modifications to Berry City, there's no reason why Berry City could become the high school. There's plenty of room there for a high school, and there's just even parking, everything. There's plenty of room up there. And then Charlotte Magoon says older folks on a fixed income should be exempt from paying.
Hey, I'm all for that.
And I know, and a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And the problem is, and Michael he knows the exact amount, but the amount of renters in Vermont, in the city, is really high.
Yeah.
The tax base here that is not very big because of the majority of the population, or there's a high population of renters and not homeowners. So even though landlords pay a higher tax rate, it's still not sugaring out.
Well, and then to meet those tax rates, they raise their rents.
Sarah, I really wish you would run. She says starts with eliminating Articles 3 and 4, but the board failed to vote for that last night. I did not tune in and watch last night at all. And
Geez,
I
you
have
usually
not,
tuned into that. You must have been busy.
I was busy. Yep, I was. You're such a shit. But and we'll talk to Michael. We'll see what he says.
Yeah.
About that. And let's see. Do you know, Michael? Are you on here? I can't tell if he's on here or not. But I'm just wondering where he stands on that and if what happened with that. But he can't chime in if he's not here. So, yeah, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Be safe. Be careful.
Drive careful.
Drive careful. Keep track of the city parking bans. Keep
Yes,
track of the.
yes.
If you haven't signed up for Regroup, sign up for Regroup. If you don't want to sign up for Regroup or you don't have a cell phone, maybe you could, just keep track of the city website or
Yeah.
this page or many other pages that will share out that. The parking ban's in effect. It's definitely going to be in effect again tonight.
Yeah.
So check that out. Make sure you keep track of that. Closings, be careful when you drive. Yeah.
And those people that don't know, for the parking ban, you're not to park on any city street. And if you don't have a place to park your car, the auditorium BOR parking lot is the place that the city's designated.
Otherwise, you could get towed.
You could get towed.
And they're trying really hard because it's some people are new to the city, some people aren't used to that, so they're trying really hard to be accommodating. Again, we're accommodating to all these things. We don't want to
Yep.
write tickets, don't want to do this thing, but if you don't fill out that freaking card and you don't fill out every line, it's going to cost you $100 per line. that
per
you don't-
line.
that you don't finish. Whatever. I can't even. The shit around here sometimes is like, who comes up with this crap? How much were they drinking or smoking that night? That's what I'd like to know. Because, good Lord, whatever. You guys all have a good day. Be safe. We'll see you on Thursday. Make sure you get out and enjoy stuff. There's so much stuff going on. And if you can, get over to Amy's Armoire. She's got a fundraiser going on. She's, the last I knew, she still had about 60 of 128 kids to shop for that weren't funded. We ended up funding one on Saturday. It's just, it's a lot, and everybody's having a hard time right now. So it's hard sometimes to do this, but even if you can go in and just buy one of the little $5 pay it forward cards or share her posts or do any of that sort of stuff. They could really use our help in getting those kids taken care of. And there's a lot of them out there with a lot of needs, for sure. So, and in her situation, it's foster kids. And so, they've been taken away from their families.
Like that family we had here.
The family we had here. And thank goodness the family we had here has been adopted by Preston's Kia. And, they step up to the plate for so many things. We're lucky. And, but yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff.
So do what you can when you can. Come down and say hi at the coin drop or at Preston's Kia. I have to go to all the places. You guys get to pick one. You have it so easy. You have no idea. I'm the one that has to run all over House Creation. Whatever. You're not just have to wait on
Well,
me. Hand it
I
back Saturday
volunteered to
night
do the
'cause I'm
coin
not doing
drop.
anything.
I volunteered to do the coin drop.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Take care. Be safe. And we will see you on Thursday.
Yes.